Hey everybody, it's Tanya Atomic and this is 31 Days of Horror, and we are watching this 50 Classics horror pack, and today's movie was King of the Zombies from 1941, and this movie was so interesting. It's these three men in a plane are hear a distress signal. They land on this island. They end up in this house with this man who says he's an Austrian refugee, but is that really the truth? We don't think so. There ends up being zombies in his household and a whole mystery going on. And one of the interesting things I think about this movie is out of the three men in the plane, one of the men is black, and he is played by the character Montan Moreland. And when we first arrive at the house, the Austrian gentleman, Dr. Sangre, which is Dr. Blood, pours drinks for all three of them, and he hands the two drinks to the two Caucasian men, and then Montan is about to take the third drink, and then he grabs it right away from him and drinks it, and it sets up a lot of things in this movie. So over and over again, he treats him like a second or even third class citizen, and you can see there's a lot of racism going on, assumption, or just wanting him to sleep in the servants' quarters kind of thing. And it's really interesting because, and he's the main character. Montan Moreland pretty much plays the main character, Jeff. And it's interesting because it shows you how this other man is treating him, and you can see that he's not treating him right. And then it kind of shows you how the other guys from the plane kind of don't treat him right either. They dismiss him when he tells them that he's seeing zombies and he's seeing some things that aren't quite right. They're very dismissive of him and kind of want him just to forget about it, or want him to do things that he's not comfortable with. And it's really interesting how you could see it from his point of view, and how, how he's a second thought a lot of times. And it's interesting how they show that. He was a comedic actor, and they do have him say a lot of lines that are, questionable, problematic, but he does it in such a way and with such innocence where he seems to come off where he still comes off looking okay. And it's the writers, but he pulls it off in a way where you can almost laugh with him. And it's really interesting. It's like there's a lot of racism shown in the movie, but it is shown as being unfair, I think, to this character, and he is pretty much the main character. Even though there's still some elements of like the two Americans are sort of the golden boys, but the movie is not told through their eyes. So to me, it's really interesting, something from the 40s, and how I don't know if it was written to come across the way it does to someone who's watching it in modern times, but definitely it does. I feel like Jeff is the sympathetic character. He's the character that the audience can identify with, and we see how he's treated differently, and in that way it's really interesting. Like I said, I don't know if they meant it to come across that way, but to me, I really felt like the racism in the movie was kind of being shown as this is how these certain people are, and we're outside observers looking at that, and we can judge it in our own way. And so, anyway, there ends up being zombies all over this guy's house, and they have to figure out why, what's happening, and how to get away. And that's kind of the rest of the story. And I found it really interesting, especially looking at a film from that era through the modern lens. And I really enjoyed watching this one. It was interesting. I do recommend it, especially for a thought piece. And also there's really entertaining stuff in it. So, yeah, recommend it.